Second remnant of truth is artificial morality. Over the past generation, there has been a strong push to eliminate God from the consciousness of the people. In order to properly accomplish that goal, it was obviously deemed necessary to instill a counterfeit sense of right and wrong so as to accommodate the need to justify immorality. This would require a whole new set of rules to replace God's law, but it has to have been done gradually as old generations passed on, and these were replaced by people who would think differently. I have been a witness to this transformation in my life. I remember watching a television program a few years ago which portrayed a teenage male leaving his house to date a new girlfriend. His mother, being concerned for his well-being, as mothers always are, and wanting to instill a sense of responsibility in her son, ordered him to make sure that he remembered to bring his condoms with him. To most of those who were born within the last 3 or 4 generations, that little encounter would seem reasonable, but to us who were raised within the Christian ethic, the mother's counsel to her son appears irresponsible, even ridiculous. The reason being that God's 6th commandment forbids sex beyond the boundaries of marriage. The young man and his mother were actually preparing him for his engagement in the sin of fornication, yet the situation was presented in a positive light. Another example of this false morality is the distribution of free clean needles and condoms to those who walk the streets of Vancouver's inner city, even though it is illegal to possess or distribute drugs in Canada. So we have safe sex and safe addiction. Is that not a contradiction? The prime objective is obvious. Forget self-denial and enjoy yourself, but do not get sick or pregnant. This has become the gospel of the masses. Planned Parenthood peddles abortion and contraception under the guise of responsible living. After all, we don't need any unwanted children, and women certainly do have the right to safe and convenient abortions, although it may just be the taking of innocent life. In Canada, it is now against the law to mention in public that homosexuality is sinful. It is perceived as a hate crime. Telling the truth about God's law must outweigh the civil law, which has now become corrupt to the core. The word homophobic is now used to describe those who oppose the sin of homosexuality. Phobia has always been a word used to describe an unreasonable fear of something. Of course, we are afraid of sin because if unrepented, sin will lead us into hell. But we do not fear homosexuals themselves. In fact, we must show our love for them by praying for them and explaining to them God's love and forgiveness. The subject of animal rights must also be addressed. It is without a doubt sinful to abuse animals in any way, but the secular media has created a double standard by showing more compassion for animals than unborn human beings who are systematically being murdered through abortion on a daily basis. This genocide is encouraged and fostered throughout the world on television, in movies, and in the public press. Sanctity of life is also being attacked through euthanasia. People have been led to believe that they have a right to end their own lives whenever they decide to do so. Some even see suicide as being the honorable thing to do. These people forget one very important person when making these decisions. God, who gave them life, is the only one who has the right to take their life away. The new false religion of political correctness has recently brought forth another false idol called the environmental movement. Al Gore is the supreme evangelist who preaches this green doctrine all over the world. Those who dare question the authenticity of this movement are resisted vigorously, and a new feast day is now being celebrated all over the world. Earth Day is now recognized by all who follow like sheep, being led into the abyss by so many false prophets.